Okay, so this was yesterday's European session. I didn't trade it on live stream. I recorded it, and what I figured I would do is just do a little bit of a voiceover before I uploaded it, just to show what was going on. So we had a very nice first bar negative in the FTSE yesterday. Um, we can see that depicted over here with this candle. And unfortunately, it didn't trigger us before moving up, so that was just upsetting. Then we had a aggressive school run in the DAX trigger for a long position. Pretty much nothing really to say there. It was just according to our strategy. It took us long. At which point it reversed quite sharply on us. So I believe that this specific trade was a losing trade. This is just me messing around on the laptop because the screen, I wasn't used to it. The screen is a lot smaller, so you'll see everything in the top kind of taskbar is all smushed together. That's basically just because the laptop screen is a lot smaller. So I had to set up the software on this laptop, and I didn't predefine any stop losses or anything, so that's just what I'm messing around with now. There is the FTSE. That's what it would have looked like off of that first bar negative if we were triggered into the long position, but we weren't. So hard feelings there, but we just move on. So at this point, the DAX looked as though it wanted to continue higher. It was a pretty positive opening. We had positive bars all around. And we're just getting hung up on that 828 area in the DAX. I don't seem to recall it taking very, very long before it did stop us out. But yeah, so we'll just watch it for a little bit. This I don't think this is a very long video. I think it's about 26 minutes or something like that. So I'm hoping that the quality is okay, because I'm literally just playing it back on Windows Media Player while I do this voiceover. So there I was. Yep, you can see it's starting to move against us quite decisively now. I was just messing around with the sell order because I was going to look at flipping the switch if it did stop us out. So I was just giving it a little bit more room to play within, well, just kind of below those lows of those two most recent bullish candles. I just wanted to give it a little bit of didn't want it to come down and trigger us long before going back up again, because sometimes the DAX can range a little bit like that. So yeah, now we're about 17 points underwater. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is not going to work, and we almost get stopped out there. You can see how quickly it was actually moving. So I'm kind of expecting imminently here to be stopped out and taken short, which is what goes on very soon. Yeah, so there I'm stopped out and I'm taken short, and that was a loss of about, what was it, 24 points on that one. So now we short, we flip the switch, we're aggressive short. and we have a relatively nice breakdown here. I don't know why I didn't move the screen up at this point a little bit so that we could see the lower levels. Again, I was on my laptop, so I wasn't used to such a small screen. Find myself grateful that I have a nice big screen here in the office to trade off of. I've got 2 screens and a laptop. That helps. When you don't have it, you realize how nice it is. Okay, so there I've just zoomed out a little bit. Okay, so a nice push down, looking to potentially test those lows around, I would say, probably 770. Starting to reduce the risk a little bit here after being a couple of points in profit. So just waiting patiently now, looking for about 15 points before moving the stop to break even, I believe, if my memory serves. No, gonna do it a little bit early, it looks like. Probably should have watched this back first before I started doing the voiceover, but I like things that are unscripted. Okay, so reduce the risk further. Taken another 4, yeah, about 3 points off. Having a look at the FTSE. And looking at those lows there for potential profit taking. Yeah, so 777 it looked as though there. Yeah, so that's where I was thinking of taking some profit. So we had a push down to about 17 points there. Hadn't moved the stop to break even just yet. Giving it a bit of room to move. I think I should be moving it down to break even soon. There we go. Okay, so break even trade. Not allowing for any kind of buffer on the break even there, so I'm trying to just leave it at exactly break even, because I've had in the past where the market would reverse on my position and stop me out at that buffer zone before moving back in the direction that I wanted it to. So I'm trying to get in the habit of not using that buffer. So for the sake of maybe losing a point on spread, for the sake of gaining, and there we were taken out for break even. So tough luck there on the DAX. And then we are going for a school run traditional long position here in the DAX. A little bit of time after. So we can see market off the open tested an area, but retraced straight off of that area back down to pretty much open price, and then just played around in the middle for 2 bars before moving back up again. and making new highs. And then we had a little bit of playing around our entry price. So we teetered around there for a good amount of time before actually moving. So there's just an update for the sake of time here, but we were taken long here. Market came back and stopped us out for break even there. At which time I was pretty confident that we were still going to be seeing new highs on the DAX for the day. So what I did was I placed another order just above. Yeah, so a pretty tough one there again. Like I say, we had realized all of this profit. So our entry point was around there, or there, I can't remember. Market pushed up, came straight back down. Luckily, I had moved my stop to break even before it took us out for break even. And then, like I say, I looked at another position long on this move back up. But we'll be able to see that on the trade history at the end, that break even trade there. Then that was the school run long on the DAX. So this was I believe this was the final trade of the day. This one was in play for probably a good 45 minutes or so. So I've reduced the risk there because I hadn't based this trade off of a school run or anything. But essentially I was just, when I was looking at the market, I had a feeling that we were going to see higher prices. So I was just managing this trade not on the basis of a school run, but just off of kind of my own intuition. And having taken a loss already in the day and 2 break-even trades, and both of those break-even trades were in at least 20 points of profit before the market turned around on me, I was a little bit emotionally compromised at this point. So I didn't want to risk any more than I had to. So I basically just reduced the risk there underneath the current bar's low, because if it did turn around at this point, I didn't want to be in the trade any longer. I didn't want to see the same thing happen to me that did during the aggressive long position. So yeah, just sitting patiently waiting on this, betting that we're going to see new highs on the day. I believe it was new highs on the day. Loitering around our entry price, we're about 4.5 points in profit at this stage. And this is where it's kind of difficult, because this is a position outside of the strategies. This is based on kind of more traditional structure analysis, and also a little bit of discretion, thinking that we're going to see higher prices. So, when the market is hanging around kind of your entry point, that's when the brain starts to play games. You start saying to yourself, was this a good entry? Have I read the market right? Have I yeah, am I doing what I should be doing? So decreasing the risk there further, about 4 points worth of risk. Again, just because I'd taken losses already and I wanted to minimize any potential further losses for the day. So I was managing this trade quite closely and quite yeah. Okay, so there we go. Moved stop to break even, at which point the next bar turned around and it looked as though I was going to get stopped out for break even. It came within, I think, 4 points of our stop loss. So I've just edited the video to kind of just shorten it because it was nearly a 2-hour session. So just showing kind of the most important points. Playing around with the stop loss there, as you could see, I was thinking to myself, is it going to be something similar to what we saw in that last big bullish bar, where we had a bit of a retracement and then market moved up again. So I was contemplating perhaps giving it a little bit of wiggle room. At that point, you know, if I could risk 3 or 4 points, it's not a heck of a lot more risk on the day for the potential of the market moving higher. But I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to do that. Just leave it at break even, and if it does take me out, then so be it. You know, I've got no issue with moving my stop loss after I've set it. I'm not necessarily one of these traders that doesn't like to play around with their stop loss once it's been set. Depending on what the market is showing me, if I feel as if I want to play around with my stop loss and it's within kind of risk parameters, then I'll do so. I was contemplating a short order here. That was based on the brunch break. The most recent bullish candle that we see over here was actually the brunch break candle. So I was considering a brunch break short just because of how this candle was behaving. I was just setting it up there in case we saw a quick move down like I saw previously. However, the market did move off again. Okay, so now about 17 points in profit. Market, like I said, it came down within a couple of points of our break even before moving back up. So breathing a sigh of relief round about now, but not quite out of the woods yet. So I was just kind of reiterating to myself in my mind to be patient and to let the market do what it's going to do. Don't chase it. Don't make any rash decisions. In my mind, I was wanting to close the position a few times. Round about now, after it had moved back into a decent profit after coming so close to break even. But then I reminded myself that if I had done that, it would just have been a case of me trading more my balance than what the market was actually doing because of the loss that I incurred earlier in the session. I was thinking to myself, if I can make 15 points here, then a loss of 23 points wouldn't be so bad. Luckily, a saner mind prevailed, and I didn't close the position. I just let it run and do what it was going to do. At this point, I closed that pending order for the brunch break because it was looking as though we were getting to a stage where the brunch break long would be triggered. So now around 19 points in profit. There again, got my cursor where I think maybe there would be a brunch break short. I think I even set another pending order. I did. That's just me being kind of proactive. Sometimes you can see big runs suddenly in these markets, so I just wanted to be proactive on it. I was observing this bar wasn't moving with much momentum. I was looking for a break of these previous prices to be a little bit more confident, and I saw it there. And there came the brunch break signal, which I closed. I wasn't interested, and I closed the short side of that brunch break. So now around 29 points in profit, feeling a little bit better about the position. We've broken above those previous highs, so now I'm expecting to see at least a decent move up. Contemplating taking profit at this point. Again, I thought, let me just let the trade play out. I did have a take profit area in mind, so all I did there was just trail my stop up a little bit under the current bar's low, just to secure some sort of profit if it was to turn around now. So we would have seen a guarantee of about 13 points there. DAX continuing to rally, up about 36 points now. And I'm contemplating trailing my stop, but not just yet. So that's that kind of franticness that I'm trying to do away with. Again, I think it's just a case of, because I had a loser prior to this, I was just wanting to, again, trade my balance, which was wrong. Okay, so trailed the stop there. We had a little bit more of a rally, so I thought, let me move it to, just a point above what I'd lost on the day. Would have been happy with that. And then I think I closed it out here for about 41 points. Yeah, close it out there. And that is the transaction history. So 42 points realized on that one. So we came out, heavens, my production value is really not great. I don't care. So we came out on the day at about 21 points in profit there. I believe it was about 21 points. It could have been a little bit less. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But that was essentially the European session for yesterday, which would have been the 29th of August 2024. So ended up being one loser, two break even, and one very decent winner. We had made back everything we'd lost, plus a substantial amount. Unfortunate about the break-even trades, however, because they were both at least 20 points in profit before the market turned around on us. So in hindsight, if I had maybe looked at the areas that are on the first trade specifically, that was break even, the short sell on the DAX, if I'd looked at the points at the point where I wanted to take profit, I would have realized about 20 points worth. I just wanted to leave it there because of the momentum I was seeing in that candle. It moved down quite quickly, quite decisively. So I thought maybe we might see lows, or at least retest of lows, which were quite a few, which was lower than than the structure points I was looking at to take profit. So sorry, my speech today is horrendous. So yeah, that's basically it, and it was an okay day. It was an okay day. We were scared in the US session again just because of the ranges, but we managed to make about 13 points there in the US session, so it was a winning day. Okay, cool. So I'm going to stop it there, and I'll upload this to YouTube so I can get it off of my hard drive. Okay, bye bye.